We're here in Switzerland's most conservative city in Appenzell. What does it mean being conservative in Switzerland, and how different is Appenzell from the rest of the country? Now, Switzerland is often named one of the most progressive countries on earth. It is ranked first on the Human Development Index since the year 2022-2023, and also when it comes to innovation, Switzerland is one of the best, usually in the top 5. Now, be prepared for some very surprising facts. The canton of Appenzell Innerrhoden is one of the smallest cantons of Switzerland. Only 16,000 people are living here. Of these, 6,000 people more or less are living in the town itself. Now, on this square where I'm at, there is the yearly event called Appenzeller Landsgemeinde. This is an event where people gather to vote, and in Switzerland we have this common practice to vote every 3 months. We will submit our vote to the urn and we can give our opinion about popular initiatives. Now here in the canton of Appenzell Innerrhoden, the Landsgemeinde is held only once a year, and the people they will vote by raising their hands to vote either yes or no. And this is a very unique form of voting, and the people here, they're very proud of this tradition. Now, because people are raising their hands to vote, these hands will have to be counted, and it's done by professionals, but still, especially when the yes and no votes are more or less equal, this is going to be a challenge. And sometimes it is not sure, is it now majority or minority? So there are sometimes downsides with this method of counting, and the people, they're aware of it, but they actually don't mind and they don't intend it to be changed. So the yearly event of Appenzeller Landsgemeinde, it's only in regards of local politics and elections. It's held always in April, and this is not only an event that is for the locals, it's also for the public to come here. It's a very big thing. There's a lot of festivities going on, so everyone is welcome to witness, but unfortunately not for voting. You need to be a citizen of the canton of Appenzell Innerrhoden. This now may sound rather shocking. Here in Appenzell Innerrhoden, women were not allowed to take part in democratic votes in 1990 still. So on this square there was a vote where men could decide whether they want to grant women to vote as well, but they actually rejected it overwhelmingly. And yeah, then in 1991 the federal court has intervened. They revoked the decision and they forced the people of Appenzell Innerrhoden to adopt the right for women to vote. Now you'll be surprised, because you always think that Switzerland is a very progressive country, and something like this would definitely be very different from your imagination. But you also have to say, even elsewhere, until 1971, women were not allowed to vote in Switzerland. So it only started then, and Appenzell Innerrhoden just was starting this later. Now it's 2025 and things obviously have changed a lot. Appenzell is not that super conservative as it used to be. It is still conservative, but in 2025 conservative has definitely a different meaning. There used to be once a historical canton of Appenzell that has split in the late 16th century into a Protestant part, Appenzell Ausserrhoden, and a Catholic part, which I'm now in at, Appenzell Innerrhoden. And that split happened in 1597. So because of that split, people were disturbing each other because, one faith thought it is more important than the other one, and so on. And that has been a norm for centuries. And in Appenzell Innerrhoden, for example, certain Christian holidays that are very central to the Protestants of Appenzell Ausserrhoden are not even recognized. For example, Good Friday, it's a working day here in Appenzell Innerrhoden, and that was done on purpose. Well, the same thing goes to Appenzell Ausserrhoden. They purposely do not recognize some Catholic holidays. So yeah, this is where you can see that this region is still rather conservative. But yeah, today the church, it plays an important role, but it's not like dominant and determining the politics here, which is good. It's rather secular, but still plays an important role. Religious festivals, they are still very important, like Corpus Christ and so on. Catholic holidays that are very much practiced here in Appenzell Innerrhoden. When it comes to voting in Appenzell Innerrhoden, has to be the norm that you would vote for the Christian People's Party, CVP, which always has held all the seats in the National Assembly and also in the States Assembly. Well, nowadays this party has renamed itself to the Center Party, but still the historical Catholic identity is important in that party, and in Appenzell Innerrhoden it is still a norm in 2025 to vote for that party. In Appenzell Ausserrhoden it's different. There you would vote for the Liberal Democrats, which is a center conservative party. But over there things have also changed. The Swiss People's Party is gaining more importance, and the same thing is also happening here in Appenzell Innerrhoden. Another thing, the people of Appenzell are very much adhering to their traditions, and here you see being conservative is not necessarily a bad thing. It also means that you really preserve your culture, and Appenzell has been very, very good at that. This is the reason why many people travel to Appenzell, because they really love to learn more about the identity here. Switzerland is still very traditional, and there are so many festivals that you can experience. So I just mentioned before Corpus Christ, there are Catholic traditions that are really central, but not only these traditions are important to the locals. For example, here in the city you have also Alpabzug and Alpaufzug. That's when the farmers either bring the cows up to the Alps. It usually happens in May, or then in late August, early September, you will have the farmers coming back from the mountains, bring their cows wearing these big bells, also the goats, and they're wearing these traditional attire. Yeah, this is something that is very much celebrated here, and many people come to Appenzell especially for that. So Appenzell is, like you can say, the very cultural part of Switzerland, and as I just mentioned, it is sometimes good to be conservative. This really also shapes and preserves your identity. Another thing is, Appenzell has one of the lowest numbers of foreigners here in Switzerland, and this got nothing to do with the people not being open towards them, but rather because of its geographical location within Switzerland. So the nearest city is St. Gallen, which is 25 minutes away. Next would be Chur, that's 70 minutes away, and same goes for Zurich. So not really close to any of the economically important centers. This makes it pretty obvious why not many expats would want to live here. But yeah, actually this is despite Appenzell is being one of the most beautiful regions in Switzerland. Too bad. The people of Appenzell, they do however prefer staying among themselves. This is because it's a small canton. Pretty much everyone knows each other, and this just makes it a bit more obvious that in the rural side of Switzerland people prefer just to spend time with the ones they know. So even for foreigners or Swiss people who are moving from elsewhere to Appenzell, they would not be welcomed with open arms, like, oh, we've been waiting for you. No, it's like this. When they move here, they do have to prove themselves, they have to engage in any local associations, and only then over time they will be eventually accepted and embraced by the locals here. So now the conclusion is Appenzell, very conservative still in 2025. Yeah, you might be shocked about the rejection of the female voting right in 1990, but now many years have passed and Appenzell has changed a lot. For example, in the year 2021 they approved same-sex marriages alongside all the other cantons, although the majority here was very thin, but you see a lot of things have changed. The Catholic Church is still important, but it is not like dominant and determining factor in politics. So, long story short, Appenzell is a cultural hub, very beautiful, very pristine, and one of the best places to visit in Switzerland. So I highly recommend you to come here. Now, if you want to watch more videos like this, then I'm going to see you over there. Otherwise, if you're more interested in something else, then let's meet in this video.